Okay, today's lesson is attributes and transformation of quadratics. Discussion point, interpreting vertex form for y equals 3 parentheses x minus 4 squared minus 2. What are the vertex? The axis of symmetry, maximum or minimum point, domain value, and range. So if you look at this equation, you know that the 3 is going to affect if it's narrower or wider. In this case, it's going to be narrow. The -4 tells you a little bit about the transformation when you compare it to the parent function. The -4 means that it's going to go 4 units to the right, and the -2 means it's going to go down 2 units. So the vertex is going to be, if it goes to the right, it's going to be positive 4, comma, and we know it's going to go down to it, so it's -2. So the vertex is 4 minus 2. The axis of symmetry is going to be x equals h, or we say x equals 4. Since a is greater than 0, the parabola will open up. And we know that k is equal to 2, so it's the minimum value. Domain, all the real numbers. There's no restriction on the value of x, so the domain is all real numbers. And the range will be y greater than or equal to -2, since the minimum value is -2. As you can see, I have the parent function, so now I'm going to type in the new function. So remember that 3 is going to affect if it's going to get narrow or wider. We have x minus 4. That's going to shift it to the right. And then the -2 is going to shift it down. Well, right there you can see it goes to the right. And then -2. This right here is in vertex form. And the reason why it's in vertex form is because you can identify the vertex, the axis of symmetry. And then you can also identify the transformations. So it says identify the constants a. Well, we know that a is -2. H is 1. That -1 means it goes to the right 1 unit. K means that it goes up 3. And since a is less than 0, the parabola is going to go downwards, and that's a maximum point. Plot the vertex. We know vertex is 1, 3. We know that these 2 points are on the parabola, and we know that this is the axis of symmetry, x equals 1. Okay, question or problem B, multiple choice. What steps transform the graph of y equals x squared to y equals -2 parentheses x plus 1 squared plus 3? You notice that the negative is going to reflect. So we're going to look for the answer choices that say reflection across the x-axis. So we know A says reflection across the x-axis. We know C says reflection across the x-axis. And we know that D is reflection across the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and eliminate D. The 2 is going to make it stretch. So it says stretch by a factor of 2. Stretch by a factor of 2. Now C doesn't say anything about stretching. The next is +1. So we know it's going to go to the left. So this will translate 1 unit to the right. And this is translating 1 unit to the left. So your answer is D. It's going to stretch by a factor of 2. It's going to reflect across the x-axis. It's going to translate 1 unit to the left, and it's going to go up 3 units. Writing a quadratic function in vertex form. The picture shows the jump of a dolphin. The vertex of a dolphin's jump is 7, right? So that's 3, 7. What quadratic function models the path of the dolphin's jump? So you know that to write an equation in vertex form, you need A You also need x minus h plus k. 3, 7 tells you that it's this quadratic function has a vertex on the right of the y-axis, so it's gonna shift to the right. So I know that it's gonna follow this pattern: y equals a parentheses x minus 3 squared plus 7. Now you notice that we almost have the equation. The only thing is missing is a. And it says here, think, what is the vertex? We already answered that. The vertex was 3, 7. We went ahead and substituted into the equation. Now, we do have a model that's to the right here. We do know that there's a point in this quadratic model that is 9, 4. So I know that 9 represents x, and I know that y represents 4. So what they want us to do is they want us to substitute and then solve for a. So it's going to be 9 equals a parentheses 4 minus 3 squared. It's going to be 4 equals a 9 minus 3 squared plus 7. Now you notice that a is the only thing that's missing, the variable a. So we have 4 equals 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 squared is 36. A plus 7. We're going to subtract 7. So you have negative 3 equals 36a divided by 36. And we know that 3 and 36 are both divisible by 3. So what I'm doing here is I'm simplifying. So I have negative 1 over 12. So I know that a is 1 over 12. So now what you're going to do is you're going to substitute, and you get this as an answer, or as an equation. A parabola passes to the point negative 1, negative 1. So that's my point xy. Opens upwards and has an axis of symmetry of x equal negative 3. So we know that the h, is equal to, actually, if it's negative 3, it's going to, h is negative 3. And we know it's a vertical factor of 1. What is the quadratic equation of the quadratic function? What is the equation of the quadratic function? So we know that the equation that we're going to use is y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. So I'm going to say y equals, we know that the vertical stretch is 1. That means a is equal to 1. So I don't have to put a 1 there. It's understood as 1. So we have x. Now it's going to go to the left. The vertex is going to go to the left because the axis of symmetry is x equal negative 3. So it's going to be x plus 3 squared plus h. So I'm looking for the y value. Now they do give us a point xy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute so I can find h. Negative 1 is y, negative 1 plus 3 squared plus h. And you notice we substituted into what we do know, and we're looking for h, so we have negative 1 is equal to, negative 1 plus 3 is 2, 2 squared is 4, plus h. Subtract 4 from both sides. So h equals negative 5, right? Okay, so what we have is y equals x, in this case it's plus 3 squared, and that's our parabola.